Down to sports. Now, it's been a real past, present and future of the heavyweight division today. Our next guest may have the biggest future in the division of them all. He certainly does if you ask him. We've got the 6'7" Tyson Fury on the line. Tyson, welcome to the show. Delighted to have you with us.
Yeah.
Tyson.
To be on the show.
Yeah, great to have you on the show, mate. Tell us, it's been a whirlwind of the last sort of 8 or 9 months for you. How's it felt to be in your boots?
Well, really good. Everything's going well at the moment, and nothing could be going any better apart from some opponents stepping forward, but Mick's working on that, so everything should be going okay.
And that's been the problem, really, hasn't it, Tyson? Is just getting these guys to step forward, especially because, you know, the Belshaw fight, really, that could have been in 5 fights' time and no one would have complained. So you're making fast work of some half-decent fighters, kid, aren't you?
I guess Tyson's had enough of your question, Bunty. Well, we try and get Tyson back.
It wasn't even unpleasant.
Should we just remind ourselves, I don't know if we've got the shots here. Do you know, our friends at ITV have very kindly given us a shot of Tyson. I think we've got it there. Tyson's biggest problem and the biggest danger of being knocked out was when he actually managed to punch himself. Do you remember this? About a third fight long. That's why we try and get Tyson back.
On all of the websites, I know this was
Let's have a look at this. Our friends at ITV have kindly given us this.
It was on all
Tyson Fury versus Tyson. Look at this. Bump.
Bosh, there we go. Lee Swaby directs that uppercut. You don't really notice it, but Lee Swaby just moves his right hand slightly and reverses it. In fact, Tyson doesn't throw a shot when he's hit with it. He's semi-dazed after that. It is a good shot.
The boy hits hard, but let's talk about...
The last finish was against Scott Belshaw. We saw it. Now, Scott Belshaw's a big lump. He'd only lost 1. He'd had 11 fights. He'd lost 1. This is it. Now, he's a big boy. Look, what you've got to notice there is, look, he's there. He's as big as Tyson, fancies it, and Tyson hits him with a great shot. A little left hook to somewhere about the liver, just like Ricky Hatton's shot, man. And this guy's like 10 stone or 8 stone heavier. That was a quality shot, man.
Tyson, are you back with us?
Yeah, I'm back with you.
Tyson, thank you for joining us again. We've been looking at some of your fights, courtesy of our friends over at ITV. You've been making quick work of people. When you're in the ring now, do you kind of get in the ring and you feel confident? You feel nobody at all can do damage to you?
Well, I feel like the real Mike Tyson, the way things are going, I don't think the real Mike Tyson could have done any better for a job.
No, you're right, kid.
I just feel like I'm just going to go for it, no matter what. I'm not like the type of fighter to tip-tap around and try and win on points. I'm out there to knock someone out every time.
Yeah, it looks that way, but you're picking your shots. I mean, we were just talking there when we were trying to redial you. The ending, the way you did Scott Belshaw, that's a quality shot. That's not a big heavyweight shot. That's a little lightweight shot. It's a cracking shot from a guy that looks like he's a lot smaller. That was a good finish.
Yeah, it was a good finish, but we've been practicing a lot over the years, getting down to the body, because there were no heavyweights don't throw many body shots like that.
Who do you watch? I mean, I always talk about George Foreman and Errol Flynn, the great actor. Who do you watch? I mean, do you watch Larry Holmes by any chance?
I don't really watch many people, but a few years ago I used to be like a nut on watching old-fashioned boxing. I used to just get from all different weights, like try and pick up different things and practice them in the gym.
Yeah.
So I think that's where it came from.
Yeah, okay, now, there's a couple of things we're going to ask you here. We're going to ask you a little bit about Derek Chisora, because I don't know if you realise, but he got in trouble for that bite on Butlin last week. He claimed he was whispering in Butlin's ear. He didn't. The Border Control said no, he didn't. They banned him for 4 months and fined him $2.5 grand. So that puts out a possibility. I know that you'd put out a bid, you'd put out an offer to him, hadn't you? So that kiboshes that offer.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with him now, because he would turn down the offer anyway.
Oh, okay.
He was going to fight Danny Williams.
All right.
So I don't know what's happening now.
What about you and Danny Williams then, Tyson? Because if Derek's out of the picture, would you fancy a bit of Danny?
To be honest, I'd fancy a bit of anyone.
Yeah.
But the problem is, it's will the board let me fight knowing I've only ever boxed 4 rounds?
Yeah.
I think they need to see me box like 8 rounds or something like that before I'd be approved of boxing for a title.
And can you see their point there, Tyson?
I can see the point, to be honest. Not on my behalf, because I can box 50 rounds if I have to.
Sure.
But when a fighter gets, say I did go in there and come unstuck and get knocked out,
yeah,
just by going unfit,
yeah,
looked bad on the British Boxing Board of Control, really, wouldn't it?
Of course it would. Tyson, I know that Mick Hennessy talked to me in private, and I know that you've been out there. Tell us about your experiences training with some of these big old lumps, you know, Finnish and Ukrainians and Russians out in Germany when you went sparring. Tell us what it's like in those gyms.
Well, to be honest, it's just like everything's big and brand new, and there's no atmosphere in the gym at all. It's just like all I can imagine when I'm in them gyms is just like big giant buildings.
Yeah.
Like nothing.
Soulless.
Yeah, it's just faultless, like you say. There's nothing there. Everything's like robotic, like.
But good
Do
sparring.
this, do that, throws his abs, throws the right. That's what it is like over there, and the people are really nice over there, and everything's good. But I've got some great sparring out there as well.
No, one final, I'm just going to leave you one final question. I want a short answer because we've got to move on. Somewhere down the line, you're going to have to fight the man who beat you as an amateur, David Price. Give me, just in 10 seconds, what are your thoughts and feelings on Big Pricey? Oh, we lost him.
Didn't fancy talking about David Price.
He's not a big fan of David Price. David Price beat him when Tyson was a novice, and he sparred lots of times together. One man tells you he was in control, another man tells you he was control. We've lost Tyson, we haven't got Price, so we'll leave that argument for another day. That was David Price finishing off the man in his pro.
Let me ask you a question, because I think Tyson was being genuine. I think that was a bad line. We talked about him possibly fighting Danny Williams.
Yep.
British title fight. It would be a great fight. And to be honest, I imagine a lot of punters would put their money on Tyson.
It's too early.
But
yeah.
Can you see why the Boxing Board of Control wouldn't let him? Even though we can clearly see he's probably good enough to mix in that company.
Listen, Andy, it's a strange old thing. You know, in the old days, what they used to do, the board, they might still do it. I might hear they still do it. I don't think they do. Is they used to send people out to see if a kid was good enough to A, box as a pro, or B, fight for a Southern area title or Western area title, or B, a British title eliminator or a British title fight even. Sometimes if the board hadn't seen a lot of the kid, they'd send someone out to look at them. If they sent someone out to watch Tyson Fury, especially if he was in a gym full of big Soviet lumps and he was doing 10 rounds, 8 rounds, then I think they might consider it. But he needs, on paper, at least a couple of 10-round fights. Even if he doesn't go 10 rounds, he needs to go 4 or 5 rounds. That's easier said than done. We're in a business here. You know, we're running a cash business. I'm talking as a promoter. Mick Hennessy's running a cash business. He could get Tyson Fury a fantastic 10-round body, but it would cost him an arm and a leg. You have to be sensible. You've got to balance your profit, your loss of profits margin with what you need to do for your fighter. And there's plenty of Americans out there. They did it with Povetkin. When they built Povetkin up in Germany, it cost millions, but they got him a fantastic education. Mick Hennessy might find himself having to pay up to 25 or 30,000 for the right opponent. That's too much. That busts the bank, big boy. That doesn't work.
Yes.